split. Do you know, by the way, he was the first Israeli prime minister we met back in 1997. He was there then as prime minister. So this is a guy who knows how to survive. He wants to survive. Right now, based on the approach he's taking in Iran, because you've got to understand it's much more popular in Israel than it is here, the UK or in the US. He thinks this might be the way to winning the next general election. He's got Trump completely. And then all the Gulf powers, Saudi's obviously a very, very interesting question. What's happening with their relationship with the other Gulf powers?
Well, it just came out today. They said Mohammed bin Salman has been calling President Trump and urging him to finish the job, that this is a unique opportunity to reshape the dynamic of the Middle East. I mean, obviously there's the Sunni-Shia rift, and as Iran, and this is in no way excusing the mullahs and the actions that they've taken on their own people, and through has all those other bad actors. If Mohammed bin Salman is calling up Donald Trump and saying, finish the job.
Everyone.
What are you doing? And as far as the Palestinians, I think they spend more money on support. They get more money to Phil Mickelson. I don't understand any of the dynamics over there.
Social media harming people that's what juries say in lawsuits against Meta, and in one case, for years, social media companies were protected under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which meant they weren't considered publishers and are not responsible for what users posted. Now plaintiffs are targeting the algorithm. Social media algorithms decide what you see, what keeps you scrolling, and what you can't look away from. And now juries agree that the system itself can cause harm. If
To make that deflation work, you have to, number one, kill significant numbers of people, of Palestinians, or innocent Palestinians, not Hamas. Large numbers.
Real
You
life.
have a powerful by killing them to drive them out. Number two, you have to make the place unlivable. And that's what they're doing. I mean, they're not just killing people. They're making rules trying to cleanse Gaza. And then finally, when they're doing is starving the population. Why are they starving the Palestinians? Why are they killing the Palestinians? Why are they making Gaza unlivable? It's very simple. They want to drive them out. Able to get the Palestinians out to make that
¿Dónde estás, Paco?
Yes, I know. I'll be home soon. I'm just finishing with my last client, babe. Yes, I know. I'll be home soon. I'm just finishing my last client, babe. Yes, I know. I'll be home soon.
clinging to a wall that plunges hunting goat leads her two kids up. The smooth concrete of this alpine dam is streaked with something precious, salt, left behind by seeping water. For the goats, it's worth the climb. The crystals strengthen their bones and their horns, step by step, clinging to a wall that...
This is like the heart of Ramallah?
Yeah, it actually is the heart of Ramallah. You're smack downtown.
Mariam Bardouzi is a writer based here in Ramallah. Her work documents the effects of Israel's occupation and the crisis of Palestinian leadership. Is there a Palestinian state right now?
No.
Okay, no, but I mean, I'm watching over there, you have these police officers.
Yeah, they're cute.
Those are kind of symbols of it.
Of a state. They're administrators of, like, especially here, they're trying to administrate, traffic. But this is all symbolic. The Palestinian Authority, as an authority, has refused to support Palestine.
I crime wenn ihr gerade.
But in reality, Palestinians don't even have a right to live. We're facing children killed this year. Where were they? Where was the PA?
After everything that's been happening in Gaza, a lot of Western governments have been talking about this idea of Palestinian statehood. What does that look like in Rwanda?
Maybe this would have been relevant 30 years ago to have a Palestinian state. 30 years later, when we've had a genocide being committed against Palestinians, they're saying, oh, well, let's have a Palestinian state, but they're using it as a threat against Israel. So it's not even acknowledgement of Palestinian rights. It's like, if you don't stop, let the Palestinians have a state.
How likely is a two-state solution today? Are we closer or further away from it?
I think that's a terrible question because you're coming at it from a place where, again, these policymakers insist on the road to state, which is a conflict. It's not in any shape, way, or form. When you have a power murdering Palestinians in the thousands and the West Bank in the hundreds, it is not a conflict. They bring you these political words and these legal terms that are just jargon, and they put them together in this way to allow people to think, oh, look, we're doing something. When in fact, it's not. It's confusing people. And it's prolonging and driving Palestinians in this false hope and dream, like maybe one day you'll be able to have your own state. But state on what? Where Palestinians have become refugees? Well, look, I'm so sick of it. I can't report anymore because of everything that's happening. So what? Where do we focus on the settlers or the army or the policymakers and all of that? The moment you finish a report, there's another piece of land being taken. There's another kid that's being shot. How many mothers do I ask? Tell me about your son, so I can try to humanize him for the international community.
Oh man.
Why do you keep going? Why do you keep going?
That's the thing. You assume we are still going. We're on reserves, and we're just trying to not die. At this point, how do we keep going? We keep going.
And the person that got it was shot. She's a wonderful woman, too, by the way. And she said, no, I don't deserve it. President Trump, nobody deserved it. Nobody ever deserved it. I stopped 8 wars, Yasser. You know what that is? 8 wars. You didn't stop 8 wars. You started 8 wars, Yasser. I stopped 8 wars. But it was a little early because the alternatives was the year before. Right? So it's what?
Einmeldung. Die jemenitischen Houthi haben sich offiziell dem Iran in diesem verheerenden globalen Krieg angeschlossen, indem sie ihren ersten direkten Angriff auf Israel gestartet haben. Der militärische Sprecher der Houthi, Yahya Saree, ist vorgetreten und hat die volle Verantwortung für die massiven ballistischen Raketenangriffe auf israelische Ziele übernommen. Aber die Raketen waren nur der Anfang. Saree gab eine erschreckende weltweite Warnung heraus und erklärte, dass ihre Hände fest am Abzug seien. Er machte völlig klar, die Houthi werden es absolut nicht tolerieren, dass das Rote Meer militärische Operationen gegen den Iran oder ein anderes muslimisches Land führt und deutete an, dass die Houthi bereit sind, die Straße von Bab al-Mandab vollständig zu sperren. Wie Sie wissen, hat der Iran bereits bis zu 20% des weltweiten Ölhandels abgedeckt, indem er die Straße von Hormuz blockiert hat. Wenn die Houthi die Straße von Bab al-Mandab blockieren, die ultimative Lebensader, über die 10% des Welthandels abgewickelt werden, wird die Weltwirtschaft sofort zusammenbrechen. Europa wird in die Knie gezwungen werden, da jedes Frachtschiff gezwungen sein wird, den gesamten afrikanischen Kontinent zu umfahren, was eine Reise von Tagen in Monaten verwandelt. Einmeldung. Die Jemeniten.
The Western powers seem to think that having heavy artillery and machinery means that you can win a war just by bombing people. When they come to fight people of belief, man to man, it becomes very evident, as Norman Finkelstein put it the other day. He said this is a TikTok generation fighting the party of God. And he doesn't see it, and neither does anyone who has studied the region can see how these young men, manipulated young men in their early 20s, very inexperienced, think with their racist imperial mindsets that these people are defeated because they lost one man, one leader, and that's why they are like this. Doesn't understand that these people are living and preparing in a way that they believe in the world to come. They believe in God. They believe that faith is something that is bigger than any artillery, and they defend themselves with that.
President Trump's statement today untrue. I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had over the last 2 days very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. I have instructed the Department of war to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period. This is what Iran says. No conversation has taken place between Iran and the U.S. and Trump